So this is something I've been thinking about for a little bit, but I wasn't thinking about for like a whole few hours, but I figured I might as well make it. So this is what if Goku had Black Air Force energy. Now, I've been looking for a picture for god dang 5 minutes. This is the best one I could find, okay? So anyone who wants to comment on that picture, we can square up then. So anyway, we go into this. So there's two Brolys in this version. They're cousins. There are two Paraguses in this version. They are brothers. Paragus 1 is from Z. Paragus 2 is from Super. Now, basically, we're living through two different Broly backstories. There is the one where he's the same age as Vegeta, another one where he's the same age as Goku. I figured I might as well use this. So the older brother, being Paragus number 2, he's the one who has Super Broly. And the younger brother, being Paragus number 1, is one who has Z Broly, okay? And Broly 1 is Z, Broly 2 is Super. Okay, let's get into this. So Goku, he's sent off plans the same way as in canon, but at this point, some ancient force, or in this version, me, Slick What Ifs, the Slick King, says, and takes one hair and says, Black Air Force Energy, activate. And I send it directly to Goku. Now, what happens when I send it to Goku? From, straight up his eyes open, and he just wakes up. And his power is just, 500 times as strong. To put in perspective, he had a power level of 5 going to Earth. 5. I'm making it 500 times stronger. If y'all are having trouble doing the math, that's 2,500 as a baby. Now, that's basically a fourth of Z Broly, but, yeah, we fixing that real quick. Okay, so, when he lands on Earth, his power level is 2,500. They feel the overwhelming power from this baby. Grandpa Gohan feels, he's like, whoa, shit, dang. He doesn't know what to do. But then, the sky parts and I tell him, this boy you are to raise. He has the Black Air Force energy, which I'm going to say Gohan knows what that is. It's an ancient prophecy about the one born with Black Air Force energy is going to become the strongest ever or whatever. That's just an ancient thing. It's so, what about shoes for him? What are we going to do? Because I know, these one pair of Black Air Force he has right now ain't going to last forever. You right. And boom, more Black Air Forces appear. Whatever. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah. And boom, saying, you right. And then a pair of, actual Black Air Force combat training shoes appear. Now, thing is about these ones is there's dozens of pairs, ranging from the smallest, being his baby ones he's got, and the largest being grown man ones that are going to be his full-sized adult shoes. Now, same stuff happens. He still turns grade 8, but in this version, when he turns grade 8 and gets that 10 times multiplier, he goes from 2,500 to 25,000, and, 25,000, and every martial arts master on Earth already knew about Goku. Anyone that could sense ki could feel this overwhelming ki. But he was still training with Grandpa Gohan, since he wasn't fully knowing how to use ki. He was just brute forcing everything through. Now, he was strong enough to where this brute forcing was easily able to handle anyone. But yeah. So he's straight just ran. He's learning how to use martial arts since he wants to learn it. And he really doesn't need to use it, but he still learns it. So Grandpa Gohan still dies the same way because Goku stepped on him whenever he was grade 8, but I'm gonna say that, when I gave him the Black Air Force energy, these tattoos would just appear on him. Not really, they wouldn't appear on him, but they will appear, at time. When his Black Air Force energy activates. And he knew the truth, because I basically half raised him, most of his life, to train him this way. And he knows martial arts, the same one he knows in canon. He's faster than most martial artists, stronger than him, everything. And Krillin isn't the same kind of kid. And Goku, he doesn't have the same problem with shoes. In canon, there was holes in his shoes, that's why he couldn't run faster than Krillin. When he got the right shoes, he could actually run. In this version, he rips through a pair of black Air Forces, another one appears in front of him. He calls it the Black Air Force moment. He just has to activate the power and they'll appear. Or repair whichever ones he's wearing. Like, it all depends on what's happening. And he actually gifted Krillin some, and Krillin learns the power of Black Air Force, though he's not as proficient with it as Goku. Because Goku, it's basically second nature to him. Like, he can literally, he wakes up, he breathes, he eats, he Black Air Forces. That's how he is. He's like, and he's a absolute unit. He trains, he gets stronger. Roshi, because he's old, he's like, I don't think I should do no training. He's like, Black Air Force energy, gifted. And it's like, I might be an old time, but we can still go throw hands. And this makes everyone that's blessed with Black Air Force energy ready to fight. And the people I'm gifting Black Air Force energy is Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, and Roshi, as well as Piccolo, because Piccolo kind of deserves Black Air Force energy, not gonna lie. So yeah, and we are working through this real quick. So Dragon Ball, no problem. Piccolo, he was too focused on beating Piccolo, like the older Piccolo, to worry about the egg flying away. Beat him down the same way. And Piccolo gets a huge buff from this and gifted Black Air Force energy. Like when they met Raditz, Black Air Force energy gifted. And Goku said, "Alright, now you got Black Air Force energy, activate it." I don't have any like of the other characters. I will get them for part 2 or whatever if I have a part 2. I don't know. So he basically just opens his eyes with Black Air Force energy ready to fight. And Raditz, he sees all these power levels. Goku around 10,000. Everyone else around 10,000. Like I'm gonna say Goku around like 10,000 because like Goku, I don't think he'd be too far ahead of everyone else, but he'd still be pretty high. And everyone's like, oh nope. Rise like I apologize, and he still got his fade ran, but he didn't die. He was just beaten to a bloody pulp. Goku just picked him up and said, Black Air Force energy gifted. As a pair of Black Air Forces fell from the sky to fall into Goku's hands for Raditz. When Raditz woke up, there was a whole set of clothes and a pair of Black Air Forces. And he was like, and Goku said, you awake now? Put all that on. And Goku's just wearing blue jeans, this belt, and Black Air Forces. Like, he's wearing all this stuff. That's it. And you might be thinking, gold? I don't think he'd wear gold. I don't think he could wear gold. Like, he ain't got that kind of money. Bulma is the reason he's wearing that kind of stuff. Sorry about that pop-up, guys. Let's keep going. So, Raditz, he's like, and he has, like, a loyalty to his brother now. Like, he's not betraying him no matter what. And, then you hear, you think you big and bad? Now, Vegeta had Black Air Force energy. Not as much as Broly, though, so that's why it's not going to be as much of a big deal when Goku and Vegeta square off. And whenever, like, and then it's like, hey, yo, Raditz, you really got beaten by your brother? We gonna see about this. And he actually said, we be there in 1 year. Prepare, boy. He's like, oh, man. And he says what's happening, their power levels, and Goku's like, he can come, let's go. Now, it's a 2 times multiplier, or, well, 2 times when you're going on the initial version of Black Air Force energy. So when you activate Black Air Force energy, you go from your regular power level, and it doubles. That's first level. Second level, you go from your initial power level to 5 times. And third level, you go to 10 times. Now, that's how it is, but the thing about that is it's basically Black Air Force energy 1, 2, and then 3. Now, I'd say Vegeta might have, like, in this world, like, he wasn't gifted Black Air Force energy by me, so he still has it. Like, I know of him being a user of it, but he doesn't have, like, the mode Black Air Force energy. He just has a little bit of it in him. So he could awaken it, but he doesn't have it yet. Goku has it in his DNA kind of way. And even Krillin has it more than Vegeta at the moment. And, like, that's them all, like, no Black Air Force energy activated. Like, they are basically in their base, weighted down, everything. And they all train to the point where, like, they can walk up. And Gohan, when he's born, the first thing Chi-Chi says is, I don't want our son to train. And Goku's like, no. I told you what happened when I married you. If we have kids, they have in Black Air Force energy and they train in. You got a problem with that, you can go, but I'm keeping the kid. And if you think I can't back it up, I got a job at Capsule Corp with my name on it at any point. Chi-Chi, knowing that this is all facts, doesn't want to fuck with Goku, so she says, you win. Fine. Now, put it in perspective, yes, Goku wouldn't usually say this, but this is Black Air Force Goku. He will say whatever he wants. So yeah, we go back into it. So, they're like, this ain't gonna be no problem. Now, Nappa ain't got much, but he's got like a hair of Black Air Force energy. Vegeta's got like a little bit of it. I'm like, And the god of Black Air Force energy, me, myself, says, you too. Says it to the Z Warriors, you gotta train his Black Air Force energy, pointing to Raditz, and says, all y'all gotta train Black Air Force energy. While y'all don't really need it for this fight, since I know y'all are all holding back, like right now, because y'all don't want to break anything, yeah, you gonna need to train way harder. And they're like, makes sense. So they train harder and harder and harder. Now what I mean by that is they train like monsters. At the end of it, Raditz can already, like, straight up handle Goku. But that's base Goku. Like, he can handle, like, no power-ups Goku. When he's fully Black Air Force unted and everything. Like, he's about as strong as Krillin. If you think that's, like, an insult, Krillin's version is able to walk up to Vegeta and Nappa at the same time and grab them both by the head and say, you a wuss! And slam them together to smack them in the mouth. With each other. Physically, he can do that. So that's how kind of what happens. Like, no one's, like, afraid of anyone at this point. And Black Air Force energy means you're not afraid of whoever someone wants to square up with you. Now, Vegeta, he's coming, and he knows about the legendary Black Air Force energy. There will be one Saiyan granted Black Air Force energy a little bit after birth. And they will be the strongest person in the universe. And he always, this whole time, thought it was him. Literally, everyone was like, oh, it's me. The next Saiyan is going to be me to have it. Like, it could be any race in the universe, though. Like, no one knows who's going to have the Black Air Force energy. And it's not really a legend. Like, literally, I said, yo, someone's going to have Black Air Force energy. I'm going to grant them to it. And they're going to be stronger than everyone else. And everyone was like, this prophecy. No, it was me choosing it. So, yeah, we go back into this. So, Goku basically... we're training, we go into where they all show up. Kaioken is still obtained, because, well, I say they needed it. I'm just saying that's what's gonna happen. Like, I talked to King Kai, but, like, I trained them. It's like, okay, God Slickness, I'm not messing with this. And power-wise, I'm stronger than the God of Destruction. And what I mean by that is, Beerus has Black Air Force energy I granted him. That's the only way he can fight me. Because any other way, I whoop him. Whis, I grant Black Air Force energy to, even though he is stronger than me. He is only a hair stronger than me. No Black Air Force energy, no Black Air Force energy activated. But when I go Black Air Force energy mode, no one stands at me. Except for Whis, he's the only one who could, because they needed someone in case I went on on a berserk streak at some people. Though I'm not really fully there the whole time, I disappear. Like, I won't be there for a fight, but I'll disappear and come back whenever I want to. You know, God duties and all that. That's all I gotta do. So, Goku, he opens his eyes, and he's just completely confused, like, whenever Vegeta shows up. Because Vegeta and Nappa, they show up, and they're like, oh, I'm the guy, I'm the one, I'm not gonna be beaten by anyone, no one's gonna handle me. They show up like this, and Raditz and Goku are standing there like this, like literally looking like this. This is all Goku's wearing. He's like, alright, let's go. And he puts his hands up like, alright, let's go. Come on, bring it. Black Air Force energy activated. And when Vegeta heard this, he was like, hold up. Did you just activate Black Air Force energy? And he's like, yeah, why? This has got to be a ripoff. Let's go. And you hear Black Air Force energy activated. It's like, and they all turn and is like, wait, what? As they see Raditz standing there with Black Air Force energy. And you hear Black Air Force energy activated. Krillin standing there like, alright, let's go. You hear it 2 more times, and you hear, as you see Yamcha stand up when it activated. And then the final one being, well, Tien. You hear Black Air Force energy activated. And it's like, what? There's no way there's that many Black Air Force energy people. There's no even rip-off Black Air Force energy this many people. And you just see Tien stand up, and then shout to you here, Black Air Force energy activated. And it was just more aggressive than anyone else's. It was like, what? Because that was number 2. Yeah, Chaozu, he has it, but, like, he activates it, like, full force from the beginning. And he's at Black Air Force energy level 3. Every one of them has Black Air Force energy levels. And all of them can go to level 3, but Goku is the most proficient at it and the best at it so far. Now, will we be sending anyone to level 4? Probably. So we hear, aight. It's like, aight, y'all gotta bring all these people with all that Black Air Force energy at me? As you hear him try to yell, Black Air Force energy activated, but when you really activate it, you don't have to yell it, it just happens. You don't even say it, it just says it above you. But when he had to yell it, it was like him calling upon the little bit of Black Air Force energy he had. And instead of getting like the regular Black Air Force energy multiplier, which I think is a 2 times multiplier made, but I'm actually changing that. It's a 5 times for level 1. For level 2, it's a 10 times. And for level 3, it's a 25 times multiplier, just for that. Now, it's a 2.5 times multiplier for anyone who doesn't have it trying to use it. But, like, that isn't just, like, you get that much stronger just yelling out the words. No, you have to have a little bit of it in you or gifted it. It's like, that's what it takes. Now, what you hear, Black Air Force energy activated. And everyone turns their head, like, other than Goku, because he already knows who it is. As we see Piccolo walking in, like, literally just dropping his armor, saying, Hey, yo, Raditz, why don't I handle this guy? Now, they're all basically ready to fight. Like, you hear, oh, no. And it's like, yo, what about the 1v1s? Why aren't we running the evens? It's like, boy, you getting jumped. We ain't running no evens. And they just start beating down Nappa and Vegeta. At the end, Krillin's about to go kill Vegeta. And then Goku's like, no, we don't kill. We ain't killing them. We ain't killing them. Why? Because they have a little bit of Black Air Force energy. And what's that supposed to mean? It means they can square up with people, like, with it. What? It means I want to spare them so I can train with them. Makes sense. Now, with these two basically being like, aight, but they still disappear the same way Vegeta did. And they try going to Namek because, like, they just realize how much more powerful they can get. Like, with their Black Air Force energy activated, they could become way more powerful. But note, Nappa doesn't even show it, but Goku said he could show it, so yeah. And they actually start going, and what I mean by going is whenever, like, they get to Namek, still trying to get the Dragon Balls, same way. Now, Goku, Piccolo says, hey, man, can we go to Namek, like, help my people out, because those Saiyans going there, and all of the people going there, like, if the Saiyan, sorry about that, guys, if that Saiyan goes there, and, like, his people go there, because apparently they strong, they might be able to mess up my home planet, and I don't want that to happen, man. We go fix that? Goku's like, aight, Bulma, let's fix up a ship. And Bulma at this point being like, yes, sir, to Goku, because, well, it's Goku, and Black Air Force Goku, so, simple. And Bulma fixes up the Namek ship, and says, aight, we send in 3 people there first. Well, we could, or more. So Yamcha, Tien, Krillin and Gohan say, "Alright, let's go." Now Gohan didn't summon Black Air, wasn't even there at the battle because like he stopped for a burrito or something to eat. He was like, I'm gonna grab this little snack on the go. It's not like a full Saiyan feast that he had, but it was like a small food amount, like a burrito or a burger or something. Like he was flying with it in his hand, and he landed like, "What's good?" Black Air Force energy activated, and everyone's like turning their head, like, "Boy, you way late." Sorry, I was grabbing a burger. It was like, makes sense. And you're, let's go. And they all running out of there, and he just sees Nappa and Vegeta running with their tail between their legs, and they're just like, oh, y'all already handled it? Okay. As he's taking a bite and saying, "You better have brought some for everyone, Gohan. If you want to be late, you better have brought enough for everyone." And then Gohan just straight up busts a capsule and throws it on the ground. And then boom, out of nowhere, there's like a full-on, like 4 ice chests full of burgers. Like, yes! They all stop and like, everyone eats and they're like, "Aight, that was delicious, let's go." And then there's like, "Aight, there's 2 burgers left, who wants some?" Goku just straight up Black Air Force Energy activated and runs to grab it. At the same time, Krillin goes to grab the same exact burger. And then Yamcha and Tien go to do the same thing. Everyone's going to grab that last burger. And then out of nowhere, like I literally mean nowhere, Roshi's like, "Black Air Force Energy activated, old school." This is Roshi in his buff form with Black Air Force Energy activated. He straight comes out of nowhere and grabs one of the burgers and takes a bite. It's like, that motherfucker. And they're like, whoever wins gets that last burger. Then they all fight the whole like thing, and they're like, boom, 1 burger left. Goku won it because like he's Goku. That's the only reason why. And I don't mean like that as in he's the main character, of course he's gonna win. I mean as because he's the strongest one out there, and like everyone was trying to go grab that burger, but Goku just wound up getting it faster. Now, we go back to like getting to the what if. So whenever they go to Namek, same kind of thing happens. First party, the humans, as well as Bulma, and finally, Gohan. The next party, Piccolo, Goku, and Raditz. They're going, I'm just not sure why, I'm just sending them there. They're going in the second ship because I don't know why. Because I said so, that's why. Now, the humans know they ain't going to be able to get as much training in, but they actually managed to mess with this, so there's an extra room in, like, the Namek ship that Bulma made. So they get in there at the same time, but, like, because, like, they had some extra help with it, there's an extra room for training in there, and Goku is just beating, and, like, Gohan is training with them, but, like, he notices that he's the strongest one out of them. And what I mean by that is his Black Air Force energy is just so much higher than theirs. And they actually asked, which Black Air Force energy can y'all go to? Because y'all seems kind of low. It's like, to be honest with you, we ain't the original user of Black Air Force energy. That's why ours is lower. If we trained it, yeah, we could get more Black Air Force energy than Goku. We do train it. But he trains it just as much. That's the only reason why we don't have more. That's also why we all listen to Goku, since he's got the most Black Air Force energy powers. Now, Krillin's the one who says this. Tien and Yamcha just say, yeah, he's right, that's the only reason. Well, that and he's got, like, the most actual power out of all of us. If any of us were to actually go on in a 1v1 against your father, then I don't think we'd win. And then Gohan asks, why? Why don't y'all think y'all would win that fight? And they said, to keep it 100 with you, kid, if we went and fought your father, full power, no holding back, we'd probably do some heavy damage to him. But any one of us couldn't beat him. Why is that? Well, whenever we activate Black Air Force energy, we call upon the god of Black Air Force energy. We call upon his power. Now, thing is about whenever we call upon his power, it's not as strong as the original. In other words, we're not as strong as the original user. So my father's the original user? No, he's the second user. Well, he's not the second user per se. He's just, out of our group, he's got the second most mastery of it. There's a handful of people with the better mastery of it than him, though. Well, yeah, like who? Well, I don't know. We was just told by the Black Force Energy Master that he doesn't have the strongest amount, but he will. That's the thing. The he will was what we were told, and we ain't gonna be against that, because we've tried to get more than him. We ain't gonna try stealing it from anyone, though, so we ain't gonna try dealing with that. Alright, so let's get back into this, what if. So, they get to Namek. They still feel Vegeta's power level, and Nappa's at this point, who at this point have been training, like, the whole way. Once they healed, they trained for another day and a half to get there. That's the only reason. And they only did that, like, for the training. And now, Nappa, who's been beating to a bloody pulp twice, has a power level from 5,000 to 10,000. But that's not the strongest one. Of course not. And that's when he unlocks Black Rare Force Energy. Well, half of it. Vegeta fully unlocked first form of Black Air Force Energy now, with a 5 times multiplier. So he's like, alright, now I got Black Air Force Energy, let's go. Now, this meaning that he has finally unlocked it doesn't mean he's got the strongest amount of it. It means he can use it, just not very highly. He can activate it, and he's about as dangerous as most Black Air Force Energy wielders. But he's like only at level 1, so he doesn't know how to fully use it. And Nappa just unlocked half, so he's not strong, and Vegeta easily has 24,000 power level at this point. So yeah, we get into whenever they all get there. They get there at a similar times as in canon. First people to get there, the humans and Gohan. Second is the Saiyans, minus Gohan plus Piccolo. Anyway, yeah. Team A got there a day before Team B. Team A got there, and when they felt Frieza's power level, they were like, "Oh no," because that is 500,000 and 530,000 power level, and they're not aware if he has Black Air Force Energy or what. Like, that's high power level though. And then Krillin's like, "Nah, man, nah, I'm not fighting that." But he said, "We can't wimp out of it though. But we are not winning that fight. It'll take at least a day to get. They'll probably take around a day to get here, guys. We can hang with that dude for what, 2 hours? We don't fight him unless we absolutely need to." But then when they see Vegeta, and they're like, "Aight," they got a little bit stronger. They're not strong enough to handle what's happening. And when they hear that, they're like, "What?" Like, Gohan hears that, he's like, "Wait, what?" That dude is their boss, the guy they can't hang with. Even with Grade Ape form, as well as Black Air Force Energy, Goku couldn't handle this guy. If he threw Kaioken on top of it, maybe. You might be thinking, that makes no sense. Like, Grade Ape is 10 times multiplier, and Black Air Force is at level 3, a 25 times multiplier. Yes, I know that makes no sense, but we're going with the Goku whose power level is around 20,000, no holding back, without Black Air Force Energy. Or Grade Ape, so yeah. He doesn't have the right power for this. And he doesn't have his tail anymore, so yeah. Like, he has it, but he kind of keeps it tucked in. And Bulma made the special clothes that can stretch with him, like, out of a lot of practice in tearing clothes. She finally made the ones that could actually handle Goku's, like, going from human to Grade Ape form. And it's like, it makes sense. That's the only reason he has clothes, is because she made them so they can handle Goku going Grade Ape. And he can actually go into it pretty calmly. When he activates Grade Ape, Black Air Force, and Kaioken, he's just berserk. No one stops him. But when he does activate that all at once, he's kind of crunching his own body at that point. Because when he turns it off, he
enacting of the fight. So whenever they like deal the whole thing, same kind of stuff happens. Like, yeah, they still got the power upgrades, but everyone just felt that huge spike in power. They weren't sure where it came from because, well, like that increased all their power levels up though. Like these people all had went from 20,000 to like 50,000. So Krillin now with a power level of 50,000, he knows he'd have to go into Black Air Force times 2 to even have a chance to hang with this dude. And maybe even times 3 to fully hang with this dude. And that would be only if this dude had like Black Air Force energy as well, that he could go into like times 3 and it would make it where he needed it, but he couldn't handle this dude times 2 unless times 3 would be maybe overkill though. But he's like, we can handle this dude though. But then he thinks for a second. Hold on. If we made an alliance with Vegeta, you think we can handle him? But then Vegeta heard the Ginyu Force are coming, and it's like, oh crap. When Vegeta hears the Ginyu Force are coming, he just says, wait, what? He had already killed Zarbon and Doria. And Nappa was still alive, so yeah, whenever they find out the Ginyu Force are coming, this is right before Goku and the team is getting there, but it's not like very far from when. But like it's basically the same time as in canon. It'll be like at the end of the fight, like not really at the end, but like once everyone thinks they would have lost. So like they get there and they're like, alright, let's hang with this dude. What I mean by let's hang is when Gohan got that upgrade, he went higher than anything he'd ever felt before. And he said, alright, let's go. And Goku had been training with a Saiyan of a similar strength, as well as a Namekian of a similar strength. If you're thinking they wouldn't get that strong, like, if you're thinking Piccolo wouldn't be that powerful over this little bit of time, he was stronger than this once he finished
with Nail. And if you're thinking, oh, Raditz couldn't do it, with enough drive and power, you can do anything, to be honest with you. And he has the drive, he has the power. Also, he trained for with a whole like year with Goku, and a little bit of that time was spent in the hyperbolic time chamber. So it was as if he trained for like 3 years. So yeah, that's the only reason why he can keep up with Goku. Now, is he good enough to keep up with Goku in a one-on-one? Not really. Like, if it was down to it, like a full one-on-one, Goku wins easy. But we go back into this.
So, our boy, you know, the one guy who can handle everything, Goku is about to arrive. But now they have to deal with the Ginyu Force. Krillin's getting whooped by this one dude, but every punch, he just eats it. It does nothing. And Ginyu Force hasn't given Frieza the Scouters yet. Like, they haven't got there yet. Now, they're about to get there, so he just activates Black Air Force times 3. Now, the reason Chaozu didn't come for this fight is because, well, number one, he needs someone to watch the farm, like Tien's farm, and Goku has like a small farm at this point. I don't know why he wouldn't have one in canon, but he has one in this point. Krillin's job, if you're thinking he ain't gonna be able to do Krillin's job, you're right. He's not able to do Krillin's job. But he's helping, like, and Krillin's job mainly in this version is, like, working on, like, all stuff, like, he helps. So Chaozu and Par, as well as the pig dude, are all, like, there working on Earth, so they aren't able to come, so yeah. Everyone else is getting dynamic. Now, we start off with the fight in the Ginyu Force. Krillin tries 1v1ing this dude, but it's not fully working out for him. Dude throws a punch and he actually feels it.
So when he activated Black Air Force Energy times 3, a full shockwave just sent this dude flying.
But he was so focused on stopping stopping Krillin in his tracks, dude wasn't focused enough on, oh no, someone's about to square up with me behind me. And this person was Vegeta throwing the kick behind him. Same thing, took the head off, no big deal. Then, Raccoon. He tries fighting the same way, and he in canon bodied everyone in there. He bodied Krillin, he bodied Vegeta. He bodied Krillin, Vegeta, and Gohan all at once. At this point, he's bodying like he's bodying Nappa and Vegeta, but he's not bodying Krillin. Krillin is able to throw hands with him. Now he's not even Black Air Force Energy activated at this point, but he can throw hands. When he's throwing Black Air Force Energy full activated, he's easily walking up on them and slapping them around. He said, "That's how strong Black Air Force Energy can actually become." Well, yeah. Plus, I'm twice your strength without it, so yeah. Wait, you think you can handle me without Black Air Force Energy if I win in Black Air Force Energy?
Depends what level you got in this.
Says, wait, there's more than one?
Of course there's more than one. Why would there just be one Black Air Force Energy? Think about it. I'm sorry about that, guys. I kind of just tapped with my hand. So yeah, we get back into this. Alright, let's go. Let's square up. Let's see what happens. That didn't work out very well. So, he's thinking, which one should I take? Which one is the strongest? And they're all activating their full power the way they... Because they're ready for Frieza to throw hands with them. They know, like, if they handled him in a one-on-one, they could, but they don't want to try that and risk it if he's stronger than them. Like, if he has Black Air Force Energy, they're not risking it. Now, Frieza knows about Black Air Force Energy. Him and his father they all know about Black Air Force Energy. They don't have as much as Vegeta, but I mean they have as much as Vegeta though. They can't activate it though. Like they only have they just only have the knowledge of it. They can't activate it. But this kind of scares them whenever they hear Black Air Force Energy activated. They all turn their head ready for a fight because when they hear that, they weren't hearing it like out of his mouth. He said it, but he was hiding his mouth when he said it. So when they hear this, they were like, "Oh no, 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 no!" Because if he can use Black Air Force Energy, he might have as much as them, and if he has as much as them, he's stomping them out. So all of them go together for a fight on this guy. Now Krillin, he hits him with the meanest sidekick. But this doesn't work very well, as he basically said, "Oh, you're stronger than that? Second form." And then he's just standing over them like he is a god to them. Like, that's what he's acting like. Krillin's like, "I'm gonna die sometime, let's try it." And he goes Black Air Force Energy times 3 for a punch, and does it. Drew some blood out of Frieza's mouth. Frieza's saying, "Oh, really?" And then he throws a Destructo Disc, Krillin does, and it flew around, and he's like, "Wait, what?" He's trying to dodge the Destructo Disc when Krillin just tries tearing off his tail. He smacked Krillin in the mouth, freaking about the Destructo Disc for only a second, and then this just ripped, like, sliced clean through his tail. And he's like, "Oh, weren't planning for that, were you?" As Krillin stood up and he's like, "Weren't planning for this," and stabbed dead into Krillin's chest. Krillin being bounced on the horn, being like, "You still a wuss," as he dies. Or that's what it feels, that's what it looks like. He's not actually dead because Dende. Yeah, that still happened, so Dende still gets saved by them and all that. So the Frieza fight goes massive. Like, they are all fighting him all at once, but he's going into his, like, third form at this point. Like, he's about to head into third form. But Goku isn't there yet, which is odd because you might be wondering why. And boom, he says, "I know what to do." Ginyu straight up just stabs a complete hole through his own chest and says, as he did the same move to, like, transfer bodies. He was gonna do it to, like, Krillin, but Krillin just got obliterated. He was gonna do it to maybe the Namekian. That would be a good idea, right? But Namekian wasn't there yet, so it wouldn't be a good idea. He didn't know that. He's thinking, now which one of these two? Well, this one's bigger, and he seems to have better techniques, but I can't use their techniques. I can only use their power. I know what to do, and he just shows Black Air Force Energy, and he basically swaps he tries swapping with Tien, but Yamcha just straight up side kicks him out of the way, saying, "Tien, no!" With this kick, he straight up absorbed Black Air Force Energy. He got switched bodies. And now that Yamcha was in the body of Ginyu, he said, "It ain't my body that has the knowing of using Black Air Force. It's me and my soul. Black Air Force Energy activate. Third form." as he swung and beat the crap out of his own body for like half an hour. Not really half an hour, but like this, like Ginyu felt like it was half an hour because he was getting beat with his old body as if it was nothing. But then he said, because he knew he was losing the fight, so he tried switching over to Tien, and Tien just straight up side kicks the body of like Captain Ginyu in the way, and it just says, "I back to my real body." And he's like, "Oh, that didn't work out very well." And at this point, Yamcha's got one broken arm, and he's like hobbling there, and he says, "Black Air Force Energy ×3," and he hits Frieza with a kick to the face just for the showing of it. And Frieza's like, "Oh," and he's in his third form. He's like, "Oh, you thought you was gonna draw blood? Nah, you ain't done nothing." And he starts wailing on this, and starts just wailing on Yamcha. Now, Yamcha being basically beaten to a bloody pulp already, he's losing this one. Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Gohan, as well as Vegeta and Nappa are the only ones left. So it's going to become a 4v1 as they all start whooping on this, as Krillin and Yamcha are at the ground, like kind of laying there with no senzu beans. But then
They heals both of them. They stand back up and just
boom, fly into the fight with two punches connecting to each of the head, to like one part of the head of like of Frieza. This moving his head just enough for a kick from Gohan on his most open part of his neck to almost snap his neck. They keep targeting the neck of Frieza and they think it's gonna work. But then Frieza's like, "You mortals! You mere human! You mere monkeys!" As he said this, sending all of them flying.
as he starts just picking his poison, it starts wailing on each of them one at a time. Now, did this work very well? No. Well, they are completely out at this point. This is right when the ship shows up, and Frieza, he doesn't sense ki, but he has a scouter on his head right now. Now they turn their head. He turns his head because he feels like high power levels from like scouters telling him where high power levels are, and it shows 500,000, 500,000, 500,000, 500,000 all in base form. And they're like, and he just says, "Alright, this thing must be broken. No way it's this." And he calculates it on the other ones, and it's like, yeah, that would make sense for all the damage they've done. So, oh no. As these three show up, he's saying, "You ain't got the same powers as your friends, do you?" And he punches Goku in the face, drawing a little bit of blood. And Goku looks like this. Yelling, "Black Air Force Energy, activate." As he hears this, he's just like, "Oh no, 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 you better not, you better not." That's exactly what he's saying. It's your Black Air Force Energy activated. As Raditz walks out as well, and he looks at Frieza. He's like, what you gonna do?" And then Frieza's like, "Oh, you really think you're tough, huh?" And you hear Black Air Force Energy activate. But he says, "I'm gonna go," as he said, "y'all can handle him. I'm gonna go handle something else." As, yes, Nail still got beaten to a bloody pulp, and he still fuses, and Piccolo still fuses with Nail. Now he's the strongest of of everyone. He's the strongest. As we didn't get much of a boost from Nail, but I think it would still be something where he'd be the strongest. And he literally looks down, like his note. Like, he looked down at Frieza and starts beating on him. And he said, "You curse, you attacked my people. You attacked my home planet. You're gonna die for this." Frieza just starts getting wailed on now. Something happened. As he's about to die, he basically has blown up the planet. And the Z Warriors, every one of them still got off planet, with Vegeta and Nappa still being with them. Except for a handful. Those would be Goku. He's actually the only one that doesn't get to leave the planet of Namek. Because he says, "I'll finish the fight with Frieza, y'all. Y'all get out of here. If the planet's really gonna blow, get everyone out of here." Now, they wish for everyone except for Frieza and Goku to be off to be sent to planet Earth. And it actually worked. Like, that was all they had to really do. But not fully enough. And there was one more wish. Well, a few more wishes, actually. So that was one wish to Barodonga. It actually works. Number two. Because this is right before, like, they're leaving. Krillin just gets slashed. Like, full form Frieza just punches a hole through Krillin's chest. Saying, "Aight, so what now? Your bald boy just got hit. What you gonna do?" Because he was trying to show that he's still the strongest one there. Frieza just said, Frieza just saying, just doing this broke Goku. Black Air Force energy deactivated. He's like, that's what I thought. As Super Saiyan glowed on him, and he said, Black Air Force energy times Form 4 as well as Super Saiyan. Him saying, wait, what? Form 4? Man, y'all said Form 3 was strong. Y'all said, I thought y'all were using Form 3 this whole time. Man, y'all using, there's 4 forms? Wait, what? And this is a 50 times multiplier, as well as the 50 times multiplier of Super Saiyan. So this is already as strong as a Super Saiyan 2. It's a 100 times multiplier. And it is just beating down Frieza. But because he's combining Black Air Force with Super Saiyan, there's blood dripping out of his mouth. Now, blood doesn't really matter to someone with Black Air Force energy, so they basically keep fighting. And when he's done with the fight, he is done. He wound up being sent to Namek from the explosion. But Frieza didn't die either. He was just at the verge of death. Now Frieza, knowing about Black Air Force energy, he wants to be able to use it because it just whooped him to a bloody pulp.
We're gonna get back to this on part 2, so later, dudes.